Welcome back to The Runner Soul, where running meets science stride by stride. I'm Sharon, your podiatrist host, and if you've been following us, you will know that we've been on quite a journey. So, last week, we'll just recap on episode 4. We dug deep into the building strength and mobility from the ground up. How your muscles, your joints, and flexibility all work together to keep you running strong and injury-free. And remember how I said that having the right shoe is only part of the equation? Well, today we're taking the next step. Because here's the truth. No matter how perfectly your shoe fits or how strong your legs feel, if you're not paying attention to your running form, you could still be settling yourself up for pain or even long-term injury.
Ouch!
So, we'll be talking about one of the most underrated parts of training, recovery. Yep. Rest, rehab, down days. All the things that don't show up on Strava, don't get you kudos, but make the biggest difference in how you run, how you feel, and whether you stay injury-free. And here's the thing. Training doesn't make you stronger. Recovery does. Training is stress. Recovery is adaptation. So skip recovery and you're just digging a hole deeper and deeper for yourself. So this is an important episode because we're going to be covering important stuff like why recovery matters and the science behind it, the difference between active and passive recovery tools that actually help. Spoiler, you don't need a 500 gadget. Red flags that mean rest isn't optional. How to structure recovery into your training week. Plus, lots of stories from runners I've worked with. A little myth busting and a rapid fire question and answer at the end. So, grab a foam roller or maybe just your favorite recovery snack and let's dig right in. So now let's discuss why recovery matters. So here's the thing. You don't get stronger during a run. You get stronger after the run. And that's during recovery. And because every run you do causes micro damage to muscle fibers, tendons, and even the bone tissue in your legs, I mean, that's normal. That's training. The magic happens when your body repairs and rebuilds stronger. So if you skip recovery, that stress accumulates. And then it can cause chronic fatigue, slower paces, even uneasy runs, irritability and mood swings, and the dreaded overuse injuries, which is something we all want to avoid if we can. So I'm going to tell you about a patient of mine as an example. I once worked with a college runner. She prided herself on never taking a rest day. She was like so motivated. And she was talented, but by mid-season, she was exhausted. Her race times plateaued and she developed a stress fracture. So the turning point came when we built proper recovery into her schedule. Within 2 seasons, She was not only faster, but healthier. Recovery, it's not laziness, guys. Recovery is part of the training. So there's 2 types of recovery. We talk about active versus passive recovery. So, rest, it isn't just lying on the sofa. There are 2 main kinds. So passive recovery, that's when you have complete rest. No running, no hard workouts. Perfect for after races, long runs, or when you're sick. And then we have active recovery. That's gentle movement that boosts your circulation, like walking, swimming, cycling, or yoga. Now, they both matter. They're both important, but I'll give you a professional tip. A 20-minute walk the day after a long run can do more for stiffness than lying in bed all day. But if you're deeply sore or you're sick or you just had enough, you just need a rest, then passive rest wins. Now, the best runners I know, from 5K hobby joggers to the ultra athletes, they don't fear those easy days. They use them strategically. Easy isn't weak. Easy is smart. Easy is recovery. Okay, let's discuss recovery myths runners believe, and it holds them back. So let's bust a few myths I hear all the time in clinic. First one, I'll lose fitness if I take a rest day. Well, no. One day off actually helps your body absorb the training, so skipping recovery is what derails your progress. Second one, sleep is optional. I'll catch up later. Sorry, but you can't bank your sleep. It's not like a camel. Less than 7 hours consistently increases injury risk by over 60%. Not counting other diseases like diabetes, etc., has been linked to poor sleepers. The next one is ice baths cure everything. Well, they can help reduce inflammation temporarily, but they're not a magic bullet. Basics like sleep and nutrition, they matter much, much more. So the other thing we hear all the time, which you've probably heard many, many, many times, is the no pain, no gain. Well, that's also wrong, because some soreness is normal. At least that tells you that your muscles are working. You're stretching them. They are working hard on your behalf. But obviously, constant pain is not. If you have constant pain, then you know there's something wrong. So let me give you some tips that really work. Here are some tools that actually help. Because recovery doesn't have to be expensive. Don't bother buying all these expensive gadgets, etc. Your body is made to be able to recover naturally. So let's stick to the 6 main important ones. So the first one is sleep. Make sure you have 7 to 9 hours per night. And that's non-negotiable. You really need that. Second one is your hydration. Your fascia, your muscles, and even your brain need it. Otherwise, you'll have brain fog. So make sure you drink plenty of water. Compression gear. Well, this can really help with swelling and inflammation, especially after long runs. And it could just be simple things like even just normal socks, but just has some compression in it. That's really helpful. Number 4, foam rolling. That's brilliant for self-massage and mobility. And it's a great thing, you can just be sitting on the floor watching TV and just, rolling on your foam. It actually feels nice. Number 5, Epsom salt baths. Well, that's if you do have a bath, because I know a lot of people these days, they only have showers. It's especially soothing for the sore calves and the feet and any kind of aches and pains you might have. And the number 6 is nutrition. So within your 30 minutes post-run, try make sure you have some protein and carbs for faster repair. Now, some optional extras are, your massage guns, cold plunges, cryo sessions, or if you have a loving partner, then you might be able to persuade them to give you a little massage with some oil, which would be really nice. And so, all those things can feel nice, but don't replace the basics. So one of my runners I worked with, he bought every gadget on the market, but still felt exhausted. And the problem was he was only sleeping 5 hours a night. He was stressed, work was busy, and everything just got overwhelmed. So once we fixed that, his recovery skyrocketed. So there was no expensive devices needed. So what when rest isn't optional, I hear you say? Well, smart runners know when to push and when to back off. So here are some red flags for signs that you're doing some under recovery. Now, if you find you're sore every day, your resting heart rate seems higher than normal, easy runs just feel like slogs, you're sleeping poorly, and your mood is off. So these are all a few telltale signs that you're just pushing yourself too much. So if you ignore these signs, then you're just courting injury. I mean, sometimes the bravest, smartest thing a runner can do is just take a rest day, or even a rest week if you feel that's what you need. One day off can save 6 weeks on the sidelines. So be sensible, be smart, take your rests. So what other ways can we build recovery into your working week? So here's a very simple framework for weaving some recovery into your training. 1 full rest day per week, which is it's not much. And then 1 active recovery day with walking, yoga, or light cycling. Foam rolling or mobility work, if you could do that 3 times a week. And then stretching is really important after each run, just for 5 minutes. And then monthly down weeks. Try to cut your mileage by 20 to 30%, just to allow your body absorb the training load that you have done. Because recovery, it isn't extra. Recovery, it is all part of the training. So now we'll talk about some listener questions and answers. So I've had quite a few of these. They seem to be the most common ones. So here's some quick fire recovery questions that just keep coming up all the time. So first one.
Should I stretch before or after running?
Well, dynamic warm-ups before and then static stretching after. That seems to work the best. And the next question, is it okay to run every day? Well, maybe if you vary intensity and have strong recovery habits. But most runners benefit from at least 1 true rest day. And then another question I get asked all the time is,
do elite runners recover differently?
Well, yes and no. I mean, they may have access to physios and ice baths and all the rest, but the basics like sleep, nutrition, smart scheduling, it's the same for everybody. So don't skip on the tools that I've given you, because they do work. So over the years, I see so many runners trapped in the train, injury, rest cycle. We offer load management coaching, personalized recovery plans, and injury rehab to help you break free from that cycle and build sustainable progress. If you're unsure whether you're under recovering, check out the link in the show notes for an assessment. So that's a wrap for episode 5 of The Runner Soul. So I hope there's been a lot of meaty bits in there for you to take away with you. And next week is sad because it's our final episode in the series. And we're going to go big. We're going to talk about running shoe myths, mistakes, and how to actually choose the right pair. And if you have any questions and answers you want me to go over, then please do leave your questions and answers on any of our platforms. We also have a Facebook page, so you can keep in touch with us through that. So, in this episode, if you think it helped you rethink your rest, give us a follow, share it with your running buddies who never take a day off, and leave us a review. So, until next time, recover well, run better, run smarter, and as always, keep those feet happy.